Chapter 64. Finally. Sometime later, after couple therapy, after he first learned that a proposal mattered to me, Vanya made one. In a tower. CN Tower, Toronto. Height, a view, good food. He didn't get on one knee, there was no touching speech, and no secret photo session that takes your breath away. It was simple. Something like marry me, without flourishes, without ritual, without what I'd seen in movies and books and other people's stories, in the world where people propose not because they have to, but because they can't not. Everything was backward for us. First, a marriage of convenience, zags in a neighboring city. Then saw a child, then for 8 years of official marriage at that point, and only then a proposal, as if someone shuffled the slides in life's presentation, and the title slide ended up at the end when everyone's already leaving. I stood in that tower and understood I should be happy, that this was what I wanted, what I'd waited for silently for so many years and finally named aloud in therapy, a proposal, a choice. Words spoken out loud, not implied. I should have been crying from happiness, or at least smiling, or at least feeling something. I felt nothing, stood in the tower with a view of the city and waited for something inside to respond. No. More like, too late. The train arrived, but I'd gotten so cold I couldn't stand up and bored. The joy had gone stale. Vanya proposed because he learned it mattered to me, not because he couldn't live without me, not because he woke one morning and realized this woman is my life, but because the therapist asked, I answered honestly, and he heard. He did it like a task, like an item on a checklist. Vera wants a proposal arrow, make a proposal. The same way he did everything, logically, sequentially, without extra emotion, without that inner I can't not, which turns a formality into an event. And I said yes, because saying no to someone who finally did what you'd complained about is like rejecting a gift from a child who drew it all night. Crooked, clumsy, not what you wanted. But he tried, and you take it and say thank you, and hang it on the fridge, and don't cry, because crying means admitting the drawing isn't right, and admitting that means destroying the only good thing he managed to give. We became a real family. That's how it looked from outside. A ring, a proposal, a tower. You can tell friends, write it in a journal, believe it. And inside lived a girl who dreamed that someone would choose her, not by therapeutic recommendation, but just because she is who she is. Vanya chose me in the tower, without the knee, without the flourishes, 8 years after the zags, through everything we've been through, the screams, the silences, Valyeva's skirts, wine for sex, divorce plans every evening. He chose, in his way, as he knew how. Not the way I wanted, but he chose. I learned a few more years later that back in Novosibirsk, he had decided he wanted to try with me, that he had chosen me then, just silently.